Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to arrive in Nairobi a little later this evening. Netanyahu will be in Kenya for a 3-day state visit. He arrives from Uganda, where he visited the scene of the 1976 Entebbe hostage rescue in Uganda. Now let's listen in to some of the issues Netanyahu covered with his Ugandan host, President Yoweri Museveni. Well, we can now be joined by our correspondent in Uganda, Solomon Serwanja, who witnessed it all this today. Solomon, good evening. Just take us through what happened today when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was in Uganda. All right, I think we seem to have Mr. Solomon Serwanja, who's for us in Uganda now. As I said earlier, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to arrive in Nairobi a little later this evening. Netanyahu will be in Kenya for a 3-day state visit. He arrives from Uganda, where he visited the scene of the 1976 Entebbe hostage rescue in Uganda, in which his brother was killed. He has said the trip symbolizes dramatic changes in the relationship between Israel and Africa. He is the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit Sub-Saharan Africa since Yitzhak Shamir in 1987.
Indiscriminate use of violence is criminal. Why target civilians and non-combatants? Even soldiers, when they are not armed, should not be attacked. That's our doctrine. Even if a soldier is not armed, we never attack him. That's our doctrine. We are a liberation movement. We use violence to fight for the cause of Africa, but it is disciplined and purposeful violence, not indiscriminate violence.
We have gathered here to mark an event that inspired the world and lifted the spirits of my people. At Entebbe, international terrorism suffered a stinging defeat. The rescue mission proved that good can prevail over evil, that hope can triumph over evil, over fear. Today, savage terror is once again sweeping the world. We must recognize that the battle against it is indivisible. When terrorism succeeds in one place, it spreads to other places. And when terrorism is defeated anywhere, it is weakened everywhere. This is why Entebbe was more than an Israeli victory. It was a victory for all humanity in the fight against those who threaten our common civilization.
All right, and let's try it again. We can now be joined by our very own Solomon Serwanja, who's witnessed it all earlier today in Kampala. Solomon, just what happened today? Just take us through what happened today when Israeli Premier Benjamin Netanyahu was in Kampala, Uganda.
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu this afternoon was received by President Yoweri Museveni alongside First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni for the commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the Operation Thunderbolt, which of course was the raid on Entebbe International Airport to rescue the people who had been held hostage by a group of Palestinians, a group believed to belong to the Palestinians. Well, that has been just part of the day, because he also later on went to State House in Entebbe, where he held discussions with the different heads of states. We had about 7 heads of state from Uhuru Kenyatta from Kenya. We had Salva Kiir Mayardit from South Sudan. We had Haile Mariam Desalegn from Ethiopia. We also had President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, among other heads of state, who were discussing, among others, issues on terrorism and also developing and growing the economic ties between Africa and Israel. I think to sum up Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Uganda, you can only make it in one statement. He did say that Israel is coming back to Africa and Africa is coming back to Israel.
Well, Solomon Serwanja there talking to us live from Uganda. Thank you very much for the update.